Hi everyone and welcome to Spiritual Talk. It's Wednesday, it's 8 o'clock. Hiya Paul, how you doing?
Good, mate. It's 8 o'clock. It means one thing: spiritual talk. Hi, mate. How you doing? It's Wednesday.
And it's 8 o'clock. It's only one thing, and it is...
Absolutely, spiritual talk. Hello, everybody. How are we doing? Let us know that we're live. According to mine, I've only got one channel live, so I'm not sure if people can see me. I'm not sure if YouTube's working or my Facebook. I've had so many problems this week with Facebook, you would not believe. So let us know you're watching, guys. Hi, Sammy. Hi, Serena and Carol Phillips. Hi, guys.
Hi, everyone. Lovely to see you all.
Absolutely. Don't forget to share so people know that we're on. And I'm just going to put this up. Remember the free reading as well. Your chance to win that. Keep sharing. Okay, we got Sharon. Hi, Sharon. Yeah, YouTube's working. That's brilliant.
Hi, Julia.
I'm not sure if Facebook is, mate. Is yours working? Because mine's not.
Yeah, it says it's all ticked here.
Oh, good. All right, just keep sharing, guys. We've got a great program today. We've got, it is a pre-recorded interview, but the content of this interview is really interesting. We've got a lovely lady who's agreed to come on last minute because we had a bit of a technical hitch. The actual guest that was supposed to come on disappeared because somebody, again, has hacked up my Facebook and content vanished. So apologies to Jane if she's watching. But this week we have a lovely lady. I'm going to add this to the stream straight away and bring our guest in. Hopefully this won't play straight away.
And good morning, everyone.
Oh, I started it already. So this is Danielle Van de Velde. She is, well, she does so many things, but she just released a book called Spirited. Yeah. And it's so much. Well, I'm just going to stop waffling, mate, and play the interview. All right, are we ready?
Everyone to Spiritual Talk. Here we go again, another lovely guest. And hello, Danny, and how you doing this? Well, it's morning here. I take it's evening for you.
It is, Anthony. Thank you. Yeah, I'm very happy to be here. And good morning, Paul, as well. No, it is. It's evening here in the dead of winter in the Blue Mountains in Australia. So it's very dark. It's pretty cold outside. A bit different to you guys. How are you handling the heat?
Well, our roads are melting. They're having to close a lot of our roads. We're just not used to it over here.
No. Yeah, the press is so sensational too. Like down here, it looks like London's burning, you know?
Yeah, they're doing the same thing here, scaremongering.
Yeah. So, well, thank you for joining us on Spiritual Talk, Danielle. And so many reasons that we want to talk to you. We've been looking at your website as well. And you've also got a new book just published called Spirited.
I do.
But where did it all start? Before we go into
there it is.
And it is. It's really interesting. I really want to go in to talk about that book as well.
Okay.
Because it's about a transformation, isn't it? It's about transforming our spiritual self, I guess.
It is.
But where did it all start for you? We always like to know on Spiritual Talk where it starts for our guests. Was there a catalyst, or was it something just, within you?
Look, I think it's within all of us. But I do think how you brought up in your childhood and what opening you may have with the people who are influencing at that time does have some bearing on your sense of inquiry and into the spiritual aspects, and your sense of sensitivity, I guess, to energy and intuition and that sort of thing. And so I grew up in a pretty conservative family. They were, they're very Reverend Catholics, my parents, and we did the Sunday Mass and the prayer and so on. And I would say that opened me to spiritual realms within a Catholic context. But then at the same time, I come from a family of business people and creatives, and so we were really education was a priority in our house. I had a brilliant education. All of my 3 other siblings did as well. Mum and dad really encouraged critical thinking and debate around the dinner table and that sort of thing. So I had these sort of different aspects of me right from a little girl, and always big questions from when I was little. Why is it like this? Why? And especially around the way my faith was taught to me.
Right.
And that really started a super early, I would say, quest into trying to find some answers. And yet, at the same time, I graduated from school very well. I went on and did my first degree in finance and commercial law. I went on to do subsequent studies. I moved to Italy. I didn't even go to my graduation ceremony from my first degree, just straight on a plane and off to Italy. Ended up doing an arts degree there in EU finance and turn of the century Italian literature, which was basically useless. It was good at a cocktail party to be able to talk about Pirandello and so on. And also had a fantastic stellar corporate career as well. But all the time in the background, in my private life, there was this constant search for answers, search for different modalities that could help me engage within my spiritual aspect more deeply. And it got to a point where there was, a career life existential wobble, I suppose.
Yeah.
And I was applying spiritual practices to my desire to cut free from corporate without compromising my lifestyle and start to move into a much more mainlined offering. And I was also very keen to run my own show after being in corporate and so on, all the layers, the authority and sign-offs and that played out. So I started to have some very real experiences that applied spiritual knowledge influences your experienced reality. And I was offered a redundancy which wasn't in the plan, and I took it. I just, because it was right at the point where I was weighing up meaning, I guess, in my life and what's my purpose in my life. And this is a long time ago. This is like sort of 20 years ago, even longer. The redundancy was offered to me. I took it, and I was in London at that stage. I was working in London, but I was working in between London, New York and Sydney. And the redundancy afforded me 2 years of fully paid esoteric exploration in the beautiful, deep London spiritual scene. And from there, it just, no turning back. Yeah. Although having said that, I'm running a business. So the law, the finance, the understanding of these kind of business principles are still really key, but they're just keeping a different engine running.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. So I want to just also introduce your website to people as well. But you also do a blog as well, and I'll come to that in a sec. Bear with me. I'm trying to do this on shared and I can't see what I'm doing. So, okay, meditation, transformation and inspiration. I mean, let me just, I've not even added it to the screen. Sorry, guys. Here we go.
Here I am, before I had my hair cut. Yeah.
So you specialize, is it fair to say, in meditation? Would you say?
I think my primary offering is in understanding the self. And in my experience, you need to carve out some inner terrain to be able to do that.
Yeah.
And that's what my book's about. So, you know, the current narrative on meditation is it's great for stress relief, it helps you sleep, it helps you become more mindful, more sort of responsive to life. But in my experience, and certainly what I observe within spiritual narrative, it's almost like mastering meditation is the goal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't think it is. I think mastering meditation is the enabler. And then once you've created an inner practice and you're starting to really connect with who and what you are, which is what meditation enables, and what it also enables is a healthier, more well, more empathic, more intuitive way to roll, then you start to move into much more interesting dynamics. And so principally, I do teach meditation, but I'm also an Usui Reiki master, and I wrote a course many years ago called Intuitive Healing, which combines traditional Usui Reiki with psychic development. So that's an interesting part. I'm a spiritual mentor, so I have a lot of clients that book in that just want to talk things through and get a spiritual, energetic, intuitive take on how they're seeing things and maybe different approaches. And then, of course, for me, I love writing and I love recording guided meditation tracks, creating music, the podcast and so on. So there's a lot for me around content and just maintaining a really good, very real, grounded narrative on what it is to live a spiritual life. And if you've read some of my blogs, you would see that I get really archy at how can be presented, particularly in social media, in a very trite sort of, what's the word, stereotypical way. I'm always onto that. I'm always trying to normalize living a spiritual life. And it's part of us. It's in our innate design. I believe it's one of the reasons why, we've got such big issues with mental health, with physical dis-ease in the world, is because we are not cultivating this aspect of ourselves. We're very big on mind and body. That's fantastic. And the links between mind and body are becoming more and more measurable. And there's fantastic content around that. But there's this third piece, and it's murky for people, like a lot of people put spirituality and religion in the same basket.
Yeah.
And therefore they swerve it, but I think we're incomplete as a human unless we're looking at all of the aspects of self. And I like the from yogic philosophy, the model of the koshas. So, within the koshas, and I know I'm telling you guys stuff that you already know, but, our individuated consciousness, like who we are, is actually, there are 5 aspects of that, and 4 of those 5 are invisible.
Yeah.
So we've got the physical aspect, mental, emotional, which we can now measure as well. Heart Mouth Institute, Dr. Joe Dispenza, those guys are doing great stuff in terms of like the mental field, the emotional field, but we also have an energy body and an auric field. We also have a finer one, which is our embodied spiritual field. And it's these finer aspects that have been sort of, what's the word? I guess, I write about it in the opening chapter, but almost sort of monopolized, if you like, by religions and by different spiritual pathways where you need to follow a certain modality to be able to connect with that aspect of yourself. And I totally disagree with that. Your spiritual aspect is natural. You're participating with it now, but maybe you're just not aware of how it feels, how it works within you. And that's why I wrote the book.
So, and it absolutely, guys, I recommend it because I've been dipping into it and it's fantastic. And I think that's a part of us. A lot of people are kind of almost lopsided. They focus more on the physical aspects. Yeah. Like you said, there's so many different aspects to us that I want to use the word neglect.
Yes.
And we are lazy. We become lazy because we're kind of drip fed by society and what we're supposed to be doing. We become almost like these program machines and we don't question why. And it's interesting, you was asking and encouraged from an early age to ask those bigger questions and why. Whereas a lot of us go through this programming stage, and our parents are caught up in that as well. And normally for a lot of people, it's normally something key to them, whether it's disease, before they start to unfold that understanding. For those of us out there that have not had any kind of trigger or kind of aimlessly going through life like an exocet missile waiting for that thing, is there something that we can do to choose to start that process, Dan, you could recommend to people? Obviously your book is a good way to kind of
I was just going to say, get your hands on some good content.
Yeah.
You know, you just listed the, you know, a couple of factors of the world and how it indoctrinates us into this sort of sleepwalking, where we don't ask questions but we feel unfulfilled, and we walk the paths that our families have walked and that we think we should walk, and yet we're just existing, you know. And but I think our education system and our content, particularly popular content, are lulling, hypnotic, dulling type influences as well. So content and company, I'm big on that. So finding spiritual groups that you vibe with, where you can have a common language, where you can share your experiences, your feelings, your insights, your questions, unabated. Without feeling judged, getting your hands on some really good content and starting to understand your system. And when I say your system, I don't mean your body. I don't mean just your body. I mean the way that you're thinking and the way that you're feeling about things, and really starting to observe yourself and making different choices and seeing what happens. So disruptive type of behaviours I really endorse. So the big one though, and this is where my teaching starts, is in mastery of your body and your mind. And we know that meditation is the surefire way to do that. But what I do find though is that people have a really super limited concept of what meditation is. So, you know, they think it's like nicking off to the Himalayas and sitting in a cave for 10 years and then coming out enlightened. And, you know, that's one of the Eastern paradigms, I guess. But that's not meditation. You know, one of the many Sanskrit words for meditation is dhyana, which simply translates to rotate your awareness inwards and pay attention.
It is awareness of self, isn't it? It's awareness. And people get so caught up in, you know, especially those developing on the path of mediumship, that it's the holy grail to connect with spirit. It's not. It's about understanding self. And feeling self and the awareness of self before we can understand any energies around us.
Absolutely, I agree with that. But in that exploration of understanding self, you will naturally come to an understanding of collectives. Because we're not alone, we're not isolated within our little lives. We might feel like that, but every thought, every feeling, every word, every choice is woven into the collective. And so you do open, and this is what I call responsive to expansive living. You do open up into this greater, deeper, wider understanding of the whole hologram. And that's when you start operating very differently, holding grudges, not forgiving, bitching about other people. That stuff, that low vibe stuff becomes intolerable.
Danny, also, I want to mention your blogs on your website, because you've got some great blogs.
Thank you.
And how many of us, I'm just going to add this to stream again, especially your unsolicited guru. There's two parts to that. I mean, and you start off by saying, how many of us get this, all I can do is spell for you? And they all claim to enlighten you and release you. And your down-to-earth approach is it's lovely to see. And certainly I recommend this to anybody. But you do so many on here. I will be going through a lot of these. Be the change and all this kind of stuff. And we are doomed scrolling ourselves into a false perception of mental health. That's really interesting.
Really?
A date with death. A date with death, or how contemplating death is a doorway to gratitude. And that in itself, gratitude is a wonderful thing.
Yep. Yeah, it is. So, this was, I'm a medium. I'm a psychic evidential medium as well, but I'm very much, as we talked about, Paul, in our pre-chat, I've got my training wheels on. So, but this has become quite an area of exploration for me, and I've sought out a really good coach who I believe you've spoken to as well, Christine Morgan. I've been working with.
Yeah, we have.
She's unreal, and only last month I was at the Arthur Finlay College, and I'm really, I think actually within my healing sessions I've been experiencing mediumistic communication for some time, but I think because I'm shamanically trained with my teacher, I put it down to just information from the ancestors. And however, I could perceive that the information was coming in a very different vibration. It moved through my mind very differently to psychic information. And also, more and more as I leaned into it, it became very, very personal, specific, and evidential. I knew at a certain point that I was actually in a live communication. And also, interestingly, it became more and more frequent and more useful and healing through the pandemic. Now, I find that interesting. I don't know why. More and more people passing over, more people contemplating death. I think that was a collective thing, and I'm not alone in that. In my podcast, The Modern Crone, the second season, I spoke to 6 different energy healers, all from different modalities. They're all experiencing this feeling of acceleration, heightened intuition, and I think it's because the world is got a voltage to it now, and sensitive intuitives and mediums opening more doorways. And I'm sure you found that in your conversations.
It's on so many levels. It opened the doorway. It gave the world stopped, and it made us kind of assess where we are, who we are. Even in that small moment of no planes in the sky, you could feel Mother Earth and how beautiful that was.
Yeah, for sure. I loved that. I started during the lockdowns, the first wave of lockdowns, and a lot of people were isolated, and I'm a nature freak. That's where I am now. I'm in the middle of nowhere in the mist in the Blue Mountains. But I started one of those, like just a Facebook group called Monkey Pop Magic, which is just our shared love of nature during ISO. And that took off. And the first things people started sharing is the reclamation of the earth.
Yeah.
When humans just sort of, got suspended for a little while.
Yeah. It was so powerful. You could feel it.
So beautiful. Thank God it regenerates though.
So quickly as well. So quickly. It's really obvious how quick and how powerful she is, Mother Nature.
Yeah.
Just unbelievable. Yeah. So again, it gave a lot of people the opportunity to stop and just even the way we see life, even what it sounds simple, but working from home for a lot of people became an option, which it should have been. Why are we doing the rat race? It's crazy. It's not good for our mental health. And this is another thing we go on to talk about the mental health as well in our modern society. So
and it's triggered, what are they calling it? The Great Resignation. There's so many interesting dynamics going on in the business world. There's and some interesting sort of narratives coming up about it too, but particularly around the next generation and how they're not as afraid as we were in our careers to say, I'm not feeling good, I'm going to take a day off, or no, I don't like the way that you're working with the team or whatever. And there's this sort of, I'm seeing a generation gap thing that you see happen in your home when you've got teenagers, which I've got now, where I think the old guard is being challenged to rethink well-being in the workplace by the next generation. And I'm loving all of that. I'm tracking all of that very closely, and I'm about to publish another blog on that as well.
Okay, we'll look out for that. So I mean, it's really
Yeah.
interesting that where people are starting to take it into their organizations, that an organization is a living entity.
Yep, it is.
And it's really important that everybody's on board with that. And people
Yep.
are starting to realize that. We interviewed a lady that was offering a service similar, a medium that was offering that service already to companies.
Interesting.
And I know a gentleman as well in this side of the world. He also works with the energy of a company, and he's been doing that. He's probably ahead of his time. Actually, he's been doing that for about 20 odd years. So it is really interesting about how we move forward. You know, how the company moves forward, I should say, and try to get the best. The guy that I was referring to, he actually works with companies to employ the right people for the company.
Right.
Is that something you do yourself, Danny, or?
No, I don't. I do work with leaders though. Like, I listened to this great podcast this morning about conscious capitalism.
Yeah.
And also how important it is that the C-suiters, so the ones that are sort of, you know, picking the talent and so on, are aware. You know, they're aware. I think there's going to be a shakedown in the corporate around all of this, but I think it's going to be forced by the labour market.
Okay.
And yeah, I think the new upcoming talent has got a really different view on how to work, how to prioritize yourself, how to keep yourself well, how to still produce the outputs, but do it in a way that's creative and there's no sort of trade-off, you know. So I'm super excited about that. But I don't help recruit people. No, my work in corporate is changing as well, I have to say. So, you know, coming from a corporate background, I absolutely love working with corporates because I love the language, I love the deals, I love the stress, I love all of this sort of corporate dynamics. But I was largely engaged for talks, workshops, and during lockdown, maybe.
I've got your picture.
Oh, there I am.
Yeah.
That's at one of the international schools here in Singapore, and I was doing a talk there for staff and parents on how to sleep.
Oh, right.
Pretty simple, you know, how to sleep. Sleep smarts, I call it. Meditations for sleep, breathing practices for sleep, sleep hygiene in your home. This would be a typical talk I would give to corporates, you know, pre-lockdown, pre-pandemic, and also during the pandemic when people were experiencing high degrees of stress. Yeah. But the gigs that I'm getting booked for now are changing. So corporates are asking me more for breath work, understanding the chakras, understanding energy dynamics within collectives, which is so up my alley. It's just so exciting. So there's always going to be stress management. That's a staple. And I'll always teach about natural ways that your body is designed to deal with different kinds of stress and so on if you work in collusion with it. But I think there's more interesting queries coming out about, you know, organizations being like an energy field, which they are.
Yeah. So I'm going to ask you a question because I know our audience are probably sitting at home. I want to pre-record, guys, but I know our audience would have loved to ask you lots of questions about that. So a lot of the guys that watch our show are people that are developing themselves. Is there anything you can recommend around breath work that would help them to relax? Is there any way you can signpost people to places or give us a little taste of what's good?
Yes.
Is that possible?
Yeah, absolutely. So breath work is imperative.
Yeah.
And every meditation course I teach, regardless of what level or whatever it is, always has breath work in it. So my understanding of breath work, it's the same as warming up before you do a run and then warming down after you run. It's very difficult to drop into a beautiful, sublime, altered state of consciousness through meditation unless your central nervous system is agreeing with you. And the way to have it agree with you is through breath work. There's a very clear physiological link between the way that we breathe and the activity in brainwave patterning. And it's my mum always.
Probably mum. I had my mum message just before we went live. I'm like, oh, quick, turn it off before it interrupts. But yeah,
she'll keep calling. My mum keeps calling until I answer. So
oh,
sorry,
okay.
she's got this radar.
What's the best way, Danny, to help the people with their breathing if they're practicing to become, better mediums or spiritually in whatever modality they're focusing on?
Or even just to meditate properly, mate, because that's the key, isn't it? Because we don't know where we're going to end up. So,
and even getting into the power as well, rather than actual meditation.
You can answer it. It's okay, Mum. We're going to give you talk.
I'm not going to answer. I learned breath work through a Satyananda ashram that I was visiting from, an early stage. So I learned breath work in the frame of very classical pranayama. And for me, I think that's the best. And if I look at like the Wim Hof breathing method, and there's another Japanese one, I can't remember the name of it, where it's held breath. It's the bandhas, the held breath. They're all derivations, I think, of this much older pranayama school of thinking. And so that's where I go. That's what I teach. It's beautiful, it's solid, it's perceivable in terms of the shift it generates in your body and the shift it generates in your mind and in your nervous system. And so I started recording guided breathwork practices amongst many other sort of guided meditations, which are on Spotify and on the Insight Timer app. And what I do now with clients who come in for private sessions and they're very scattered, they've got high stress markers, they've got anxiety, they're not sleeping, all of the symptoms of a freaked out nervous system, I'll send them links to my breathing practices. But you have to do it every day. Yeah. It's like training. We've got these pillars of health, like our diet, our physicality, and meditation in the mind is also a pillar of our well-being. But also, it only develops when we engage with it. You have to engage with it. You've got to do it.
Yeah.
And but the neuroscience tells us it doesn't have to be a lot. It's just a little bit every day, where you calm your system down, alter your state of consciousness, plug into the deeper aspects of being and listen.
Yeah.
And that takes a little bit of habit forming, which we know only happens through repetition.
Yeah.
But in a very short period of time, it's established. The neural pathways are established. You're much more aware of your breath. And then what you can do is calm your system down and plug into those deeper aspects of intuitive guidance at will, not just on your meditation stool. And I think that's the game. Your meditation stool's like the gym. Yeah. But what you really want to do is shift your paradigms and your perspectives about yourself and life and live in a different way. That's what we're going for.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the key, isn't it? Because a lot of people we can talk the talk. Yep. It's so much difficult to walk the walk, So yeah, absolutely. So getting the key to practice really is for a successful meditation practice, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is. And then the other thing I'd add to that, which I think is also really lacking within our urban environments and also our modern living, and exaggerated more so through the pandemic, is connection with the wilderness. Yeah. This is really, really important. We come from the wilderness. The wilderness brought us to bear through evolution. We are designed to thrive within the influence of the wilderness. And when I say the wilderness, I mean the whole interface we have with nature, our diet, eating seasonal foods that haven't been augmented wherever possible, the immersion into wild scenes with colour, pheromones, light and season. Earthing, a lot of the talk about earthing is take your shoes off and stand on the grass, which is, of course, does a lot of amazing things. Like it changes the what are they called? The electron sort of charge of your body. It brings your blood pressure down and so on. But it's far more than that. It's actually a relationship with the wilderness as an intelligence field within its own right, which it is. And I think that's really important for the beginners starting out, is starting to foster a relationship and a love with the earth.
Could you link that to gratitude, a good practice of gratitude? Because then you realize, you know, when you start to realize your place in the multiverse, and this, well, we're not even a grain of sand, we're just minuscule, and here we are. Yeah, here we are, against all odds, surviving in this life with such beauty around us. I know I sound a bit flaky, I'm sorry guys, but that's the reality of it. And when you get into that space, it's a beautiful thing. But we do get caught up in everyday life. It's just remembering and having that time. And for me personally, I struggle sometimes. I have a busy life, so I forget to meditate really bad, I know. But I go back to it as often as I can. But is it something, if you're struggling with the whole mind going, you can't rest, you got to do this, you got to do that today, what would you suggest to someone? Rather than using a big wooden stick, is there any other ways we could kind of work on self? Help stop that internal battle going, well, I've got the ironing to do.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And
so,
I've got
she's
not going to give up.
She's determined.
Not going to give
That's
up.
where I get it from. That's where I get it from. So back to my initial point, Paul, I think it's really good to have a think about what you understand meditation to be.
Yeah.
So, you know, I need to move my body. Movement's really important for me, as it is for all of us, but it's really important for me. It's really important for me to just set my mental ground straight, be very clear. You know, every single morning I'm up, I'm riding my bike. Now, I ride my bike for 25 Ks to the east coast of Singapore to greet the dawn, usually with breath work, amongst other practices. That entire ride is a meditation.
Yeah.
Ironing can be a meditation.
Oh, I'm glad you said that. I'm always ironing.
Yeah, so this is this thing which I talk about in Spirited, is that, you know, it's not, our spiritual aspect is not something we need to carve out time for and it's over there and then we're in the mundane. We are spirit.
Yeah.
And everything that we participate in has a spiritual principle. And if you open your perspective to that and engage with your daily tasks as if you're spellcrafting, they have a very, very different appeal for a start. They become much more useful. And also when you start doing it, you can see the effect of that in your experience reality. So ironing can be a powerful, beautiful meditation which symbolically takes out the creases and crinkles of your mind, for example.
I love that, the way you've explained that, because even I do, viewers, they probably pigeonhole their own mindset where, you know, this is for work, this is for with the family, this is spiritual stuff, meditation, etc. But like you say, even ironing, that metaphoric way of getting rid of the creases within their own mindset or how they're feeling, but even with nature and being connected. And, you know, for example, I mean, I live in Glastonbury in Somerset, so it's a really spiritual place. And people, you know, it's not just taking your shoes off. You know, if you're outside and you're with friends and you feel good and you don't know what that feeling is, then that is to do with connection, surely.
Correct. Yeah.
Mate, I can see the hippie in you with that behind you, your script.
Got to bring colour in more ways than one.
Absolutely.
I love Glastonbury. Yeah, I like how you're wearing your serious like suit and tie there, but we know you're a hippie.
Behind is that
in
hippie.
this room.
Absolutely.
True. There's a dream catcher there. I agree with you. I think you know, in some of the healing modalities, there are really great little sort of like measures for this. You know, I spoke with a access consciousness practitioner the other day, and Kalinka Palain, she's beautiful. She's on my podcast as well, second season. And the way they do it is, do you feel heavy or do you feel light? Yeah. Does this conversation make you feel heavy, like weight, contracted, dense?
Yeah.
Or do you feel light, expanded, and you stand up a bit taller? And so And they use that as a diagnostic tool within Access Consciousness when they're trying to work out like where in the body or the system there's a problem. But I think that's a really good rule. For me, it's around lightness and delight. And that's where I follow. And because I really believe that whatever it is, and it'll be different for everyone, if you feel light and there's a sense of delight in that, there's an alignment with your spirit.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
if something makes you feel dense or contracted, there's a misalignment with your spirit.
Yeah.
And that can also be corrected, obviously. If you're feeling it, you can go in and go, what beliefs am I holding about this? Whatever it is, what fears am I holding around this? What conditioning am I holding around this? Is that serving me, or do I change the way I'm rolling?
What's the best way around that, Danny, though? If someone feels not 100% in themselves, but they don't know what it is, but they feel not right, how would the best way would you suggest in people in general with the different, there's a multitude of different things that would be troubling someone, how to deal with that if they just don't know?
Yeah, well, if they're on their own, I'm a massive advocate of journaling, massive. Because journaling helps you take the subjective and make it objective so you can look at it.
Yeah.
And you don't have the pressure of judgment or saying the wrong thing or whatever. It's just you and your journal. And you can just start off by just mapping out whatever that event was that you have dissonance around.
Yeah. And
also suspend attack and defense. Suspend judgment. That's the big one, because as soon as we judge and go, oh, they were mean to me, they've got a problem, we lose the opportunity.
Yeah. Don't let the chip come out, as they say.
Yeah, exactly. Just suspend it and go. I think something that I talk about a lot in my courses is this kind of aversion to the feeling of discomfort. And in spiritual inquiry, that's where the gold is, because that's where the dissonance is. Yet we go, oh, I feel uncomfortable. Oh, I'm going to move away from that, rather than sort of like what I talk to my students about is running straight at it. Okay, this is making me feel, this feels intense. And also watch your language. Like, some people might see me, for example, I'm just making this up, but for a private session, and they'll say, oh, I feel really anxious about this new relationship. And I'll go, well, first of all, what are you, is it anxiety that you're feeling? What are you really feeling? Because we label our feelings. And as soon as we conceptualize them and stick them in a box, we interrupt their movement through us. So the first thing is, I think, is stop labeling stuff. We're so good at labeling. Stop labeling everything and maybe go, oh, I'm feeling a voltage. Oh, it's got an edge. Okay, all right, I'm going to have a look at this. So it's not good or bad, but it's in you, it's moving through you. And that's helpful, I think, in maintaining an inquisitive curiosity and a lightness. Yeah. Because you're holding it and you're observing it as it moves through you. So, and journaling's really good for that. If you're connected with a good spiritual group, community, it may not be called a spiritual group or community. You might have a really cool book club that always ends up talking about great sort of inner stuff. I reckon you lay it out with some of your friends and get a different sort of perspective on it. So with all of my courses that I teach, there's a course community that goes with it. Regular sharing, regular catch-ups. Everyone has a chance to say what's working for them, what's not, what they're struggling with in their life, and so on. And then I really encourage everyone within the community not to advise, but to offer a different tilt.
Yeah. Without judgment again, isn't it?
Without judgment. And that's enough usually. The conversations in those share groups are enough to unlock that situation for that person.
Yeah, I know a few people like that here.
Have you got something going on Instagram where there's a community on there, Danny? Do you have that on Instagram?
I've got my own Instagram account, which is basically just all my stuff and courses and just when I buy a new hat and all that stuff that you do. But I've started a new one for the book called Spirited by Danny. Okay. It's just started.
Is
and
this one here? I've just put it on here. Is that the one?
I can't see, Dale.
Spirited by Danny. It should be coming across the bottom of your screen. Can you see that?
Oh yeah, that's it. Thank
Awesome.
you. Thanks, Paul. Yeah, that's it. So as I build that, I will be doing, Instagram lives and little challenges and things from the book just to get people a little bit engaged. Yeah.
Oh,
I love
brilliant.
that. Yeah. Yeah, we'll certainly look out for that, definitely.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And I do have within my main business season 3 opening up, and some of it's online and some of it's in Singapore, but there's psychic development circles, meditation drop-ins. So there's lots of lovely ways to engage regardless of where you are.
I kind of want to ask you about your exploration in terms of your own spirituality, in terms of faith as well. Obviously growing up a Catholic, I don't know if I dare go down this route or not.
Yeah.
How that has affected your own and this journey, in a journey for you.
Yeah.
And where you've come out or if you have come out the other side, do you have any kind of concepts of what it is? Do you believe in a God?
I believe in a universal, intelligent, organizing principle, which is life would, and which vibrates in the harmonics of awe, gratitude, love, kindness.
Yeah.
Come on. So I was raised in an exoteric religion, which was about dogma and so on. Yet what it did give me was a love of ritual, intoning, the power of intention, community. But of course, like many Catholics, I went through the Judder shock of the revelations of just the systemic abuse and the cover-up and so on. And I don't go to mass anymore, I would have to say. But I do love going into churches, as I do love going into temples, sacred sites, stone circles, and so on, because I love energy. And often they're all built on top of historically the same place where there's some kind of a ley line or some kind of an alignment with cardinal directions or whatever it is. But I love what I found that I've done. I've sort of done this really big full sort of circuit, and sometimes I do go back to some of the prayers and things that are in the Catholic faith. But now that I've done lots of exploration, I can see that they weren't the originators of nearly all of it.
Yeah.
There's much older rivers of esoteric wisdom that the church has sort of like assumed as they assumed land and cultures and people. So it all looks a little bit familiar for people who are coming in. And so I've started then going, okay, well, where's it really come from? Where does this come from? And so I love the Catholic faith and the prayers and things, but I also have a way wider view of the origins of it and the esoteric principles within it rather than the rules.
Yeah.
I don't like the issuing of judgment, the focus on sin, and the focus on earning your right to heaven. I do not concur with that at all. I think we are heaven. I think we are God. And so that's not really lined up with the whole Catholic thing.
I learned recently that sin is an old Latin or Greek word that comes basically, I believe it's some kind of archery term about missing the target. So when you actually say in that format, actually, you've sinned, actually, you've missed the target. It works, doesn't it? You try again. Just keep trying. No judgment. Just try.
Yeah. We're all missing targets all the time, aren't we? But I love that. And that's what I've discovered as well is terminology and so on has been reinterpreted.
Yeah.
It's been translated, and it's lost its beautiful original meaning.
Yeah. And that's kind of with some of the meditations that people do for psychic development. I want to kind of say to people, don't limit yourself in what you're doing. So when you say you're sitting for psychic development, sit for yourself. That's what I would say to people, rather than actually having a particular specific goal, and just allow, I guess. I don't know if you would agree with that.
I totally agree with that. There's this paradox that happens with these finer spiritual arts like psychic work and also mediumship, is that the more attached you are to the result, the more it flatlines. So you've got to be able to hold this sort of openness, playfulness, curiosity, and use there's skills involved and develop those skills. But the second that you think it's going to make you special, or that you're attached to blowing someone's mind, gone. Because it's too contracted. It's too tight, the field. You lose
the ego again, isn't it?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Danny Van de Velde, it's been an absolute pleasure to have an interview you on Spiritual Talk. It's been brilliant. Please, everybody, go out and buy the book, because we recommend it. It's a really good read. And we can't say enough. Thank you enough to coming on this morning, because we're actually...
Thanks, Danny, for all your help.
Yeah.
Oh, Anthony and Paul, thank you so much. I feel being on your podcast is awesome, and thank you for digging into the website and the gorgeous conversations. Always too short, though, isn't it?
It is. And also Spotify as well, because I did check out Spotify. I was hoping to play some, but that was above my pay grade for technology, I'm afraid.
No problem.
I couldn't work it out, so it's actually
cool.
a wonder we get this far, but we're getting there. So, guys. It's been brilliant. Thank you ever so much. Thank you, Danny.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Keep
Danny.
cool up there.
Awesome. Thank you, Danny. Hello, mate.
Thank you, Danny. And here we are again, Paul. That was great, wasn't it?
It was good. Really informative. And bless her, she came on at last minute for us. So we really appreciate that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So, yeah, very interesting. So check out her new book as well, Spirited. It's really interesting. So, guys, it's time for messages. So please share and get the word out there. We're going to be working with Spirit tonight. So looking forward to that. Usual, I'm going to put a link into the comments right now. We are going to start working. Oh, wrong one. Hang on, I'll just put the wrong one in.
Make sure you share, everyone. And you get the chance of a free reading with Paul this
It is me this week. Yeah, it is me this week. Looking forward to it. So, actually, mate, because the guest is not here to choose, I'll get you to choose for me at the end of the show.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, I'm just gonna try and copy the link if I can. It's playing up. Of course, it's playing up. It's been one of those crazy weeks. The heat is getting to us as well, mate. I've got the fan on the go here. I don't know about you. Is that fire behind you?
It's cool. It's cool here. It's 20.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Okay, for some reason, my link is I can't share, but Paul Bannister, I've buried my friend today. I'm so sorry to hear that.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, okay.
Love goes out to you.
You've come through as Facebook user, so I'm not sure. Okay. Oh, jealous. Stephanie's put jealous. Okay, I'm trying to find the URL and I've lost it. So I'm going to have to... Oh, mate, that's typical, isn't it? So I can't copy it in. So bear with me, mate. Did you want to go first? And I'll try and bring that in.
See if you can find it.
Yeah, I'll try and... Yeah. So if you want to go first, mate, I'll try and share it in.
Right, and you still hear me? My mic's playing up. Okay. Ears open, everyone, and just make sure you get a nice interaction with us both tonight. That would be great. Please say you've shared on the screen, and then we can see that everything's working nicely as
Absolutely.
well. Okay, I've got since we were playing the recording earlier on, I've got a lady who was with me and gently, sweetly coming in bit by bit as the recording was coming to an end. I have got a younger lady here with me, and as she comes in, she shows herself with looks like black hair. Now, whether it's dyed black or it's generally sort of dark brown, that's absolutely fine. I do feel she's sort of a younger age. I want to say in her 20s, early 20s, I want to say, with this lady, what she's telling me. As she comes in, she's very, very slim. I'm not going to be too disrespectful to her, but she's very, very slim, and she does make me feel that there was some kind of illness with this young girl. Now it makes me feel that this lady, as she comes in, I do feel that this was a condition that was right from early age, like really, really young. And as she comes in, I don't know whether it's a form of leukemia or a form of cancer or something, but I do feel that this lady comes in, making me aware that she would have had different types of medication, but also different types, different appointments, I should say, different appointments, whether this is in hospital or a medical center, a doctor's, etc. And I just feel that this condition was managed. I don't feel, forgive me, I'm not a doctor, but I'm not pretending to be one. But as this lady comes in, I do feel she's sharing her particular story. As she comes in, I do feel she had a collective group of friends, and I do feel that she would have had more than one tattoo. She's showing me more than one tattoo. I am drawn to her arms with tattoo on each arm, and I do feel that she was quite a character. She's saying she's showing me as quite a character. I do feel there's more than one area of her body pierced as well, ears and different areas as well. But as she comes in, I really I like the girl. She definitely makes me feel like I know her, even though I don't. Can anyone take this lovely girl? She comes in with lots of different color on her. She's a typical person that, without being stereotypical, would like sort of rock music, that kind of thing, bit of grungy kind of look to her. But as she comes in, very, very calmly spoken. But there's two sides of her. She's saying there's two sides of her. I feel that she has a short temper as well, and I feel that people wouldn't have. Or she feels that people didn't understand her that well as well. And also she is making me feel that there was an understanding where there was problems with education, or problems absorbing information in an educational way. So yeah, I don't know if anyone can take this so far.
Maybe dyslexic, mate.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we got the link shared in the chat now, guys. If you understand this information, please click on the link and jump in. You'll probably see it as a duck, so click on the duck and just jump in.
I do feel also this young lady is one of two. I do feel there's another lady around this girl in the physical, and as she comes in, I do get the name of Alice as well. She's bringing in the name of Alice as well. Whether that's short for something, I wouldn't imagine so. But as she comes in, I do feel also that my throat is burning. My throat is burning. It feels like I've got acid reflux or something like that. So I don't feel that I'm 100% well. And I just feel that this girl really did suffer internally. She doesn't look well ill from the external point of view, but internally I just feel that I'm not a well person. So as she comes in, I do feel that there's a connection also with another gentleman. And as a gentleman comes in, whether this is a boyfriend or a husband, in that understanding as well. She also makes me also aware of like a particular smell as well as she comes in. It does make me feel that she would have smoked as well. I get this smell of tobacco, but also I get a sense of smell with her as well. Like I'm aware of burning around me as well. So I don't know whether this is to do with a fire that was nearby, but I'm getting that kind of concept that there was a fire nearby as well. No one can take this lady so far.
Not at the moment.
Okay. All right, I'm going to still keep going with it.
Yeah.
I do feel also there's a gentleman that's listening in the background that can take this lady in the background who's listening to our show tonight. Whether he's listening to the show or he's in the background of the viewer who's listening to our show tonight. But I do want to come also with the name of Jeffrey or Jeff, with that kind of connection that she wants to speak to as well, and just say I am okay. I am okay. and also I can hear guitar, like electric guitar as well, coming in. So there was an understanding and an interest with music, and also live music, like bands, concerts, that kind of thing, as well. But I just feel this lady's trying to make connection tonight. I don't feel she's actually come through before. She does feel quite a young soul in how she's connecting as well. So yeah, anyone can take this.
Ada, possibly. Ada, is this for you? Do you understand this information? Be great to see you. If you want to jump on, that'd be great. If you can see the little duck in the comments, you should be able to click on that and jump on, especially on YouTube. It should be coming up on both the YouTube pages.
Okay. So yeah, Ada, if you can understand this message, throw in another comment as well. I just feel that I've got no energy with this girl that comes in. I've got absolutely, I don't
no, she don't
understand
understand
that
it,
girl.
mate.
Okay, no
No,
one else.
apologies.
Okay. That's fine.
She's joined to listen.
Okay. I don't know what to do with to cut this link or not if no one can take it. But yeah,
It's a problem with being live, mate. You know,
Yeah.
sometimes people are half watching this and half watching something else. And you say it's a gentleman that's listening. It should be listening.
She's wanting to refer to a gentleman. I feel this is either a stepfather that she's referring to, not an actual father, because I don't feel blood related as well.
Yeah.
In that respect. Okay. It's a shame and no one can accept this and all this information she comes in. But she's just coming in saying, hi, I'm okay. I'm learning a lot where I am as well, she's saying, and there's more to of course the world of spirit than she realized. She didn't think there was anything out there, she's saying. But lovely girl, very sweet. Misunderstood, but yeah, lovely girl. So I have to leave her love with everyone.
Okay, mate, not to worry, it happens. Okay. So I've got I know I've got a lady with me. I know she's mum. She's telling me she's mum. I know there's a lot of women around her. I know there's a lot of girls around in the family. And I know it's on mother's side of the family as well. But she's talking, this is mum. I know she would have passed with cancer. I know she's not from my part of the world. I kind of feel she's more, I'm not actually 100% sure, but there's a connection with the Midlands with her as well. And I know she's talking about belongings being in the hospital, and there was some confusion with her belongings at the end, whether they wasn't picked up properly or there was something left. There was an item of jewelry, I believe, that had gone missing. And I know she makes me aware of that. I also know, again, there's a real sense of nurture with her. She was a real proper, what I would call proper mum's mum. You know, she's really caring, really loving. And again, I feel there's a lot of women around her. I also feel there's a real sense of camaraderie. She's a how can I say this? A lady of a different era where people looked out for each other and family meant everything. Also, she's trying to give me something to do with Freeman's. I'm not sure if that's a surname or a place of work. There's something about Freeman's, the name Freeman's she's trying to give me. Okay. And yes, and I know, okay. Again, she was in a lot of pain towards the end in terms of around her stomach area. She makes me aware of the discomfort. I know family around her made her comfortable. I know she was really grateful for that. Does anyone understand mum in the spirit that would have passed with cancer? I know it's around, to me it's around the abdomen, the lower abdomen as well, the pain that I'm feeling here. I also know she would have had a lot of backache with that as well. She's making me aware of the backache. It made her feel uncomfortable. I believe that's key to a diagnosis as well, originally having backache with her as well. I also know there was issues, forgive me for bringing up medical conditions, but she's making me aware of her issue with one of her lungs as well. I'm starting to worry that no one's watching, mate, tonight. Everyone's got a cup of tea. Is anybody there? Let us know you're there, guys. I've got this lovely lady here. I know I've got mum watching. I know, because also she would have had a walker as well, because she's sitting behind me in a walker. You know, one of those you can turn around and sit on wheels. And I would turn around and say, hi, Carol. Lovely to see you guys. Would you understand? anyone understand mum in spirit? I know it would have been a Cancer. I'm also seeing this lovely bed. What looks like a bed frame rather than a divan. Is it divan? You know, the mattress on top of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's a frame. Still here, Carol Phillips. Hi, Carol. Okay, I'm just going to keep going. I know she's talking about there's a lot of women around here. I know there's sisters, and I keep getting there's more. I feel there's 3 sisters around here, but there's more than 3 sisters. I believe there was a lot of women around the family. I don't know why I'm getting this as well, but the stomach area, the cancer around the stomach area, she keeps giving me this. Also, okay, what is that? 1914 is quite significant for someone as well. 1914, and I believe that's a birthday. I believe it connects to family on her side. I'm not sure if that's her father, because obviously right on the brink of World War One. But she's given me 1914 as significant as well as a birthday. Does anyone understand this information? Also, I believe there's an Albert as well that connects to the family. The Albert. Okay, and the J. She's trying to give me the J that connects. I'm not sure if that's a Jenny, but she's trying to give me. Yeah. Hi, Sue. Good to see you. Zoe's still here. Great stuff. Hi, Carol's still here. And oh gosh, why are we struggling with this tonight? It's really strange. Oh, okay. She's also talking about someone having a near miss in a car recently. They skidded. Okay, but they was okay. Thankfully, they're okay, but they had a near miss in the car. Okay. Yeah, and had a near miss. My mum is Jenny. Okay, does this make sense to you, Jenny? Because I got the J. The J. She passed of cancer, a stomach. Okay, brilliant. They're not brilliant, but I feel like I want to home her as well. Would you understand her being really mumsy, really lovely, really caring person? Okay. Also, I don't know why I keep getting this, the 1914. I believe that's either her father or someone very close to her, the 1914 birthday. It's quite significant. And the A, it feels like the Albert. Okay. I'm not sure because I've got Facebook, yes to family. Lots of girls in the family as well. Lots of women in the family and being made aware it's her mum. The 1914 is her mum. But would you understand? Again, I know this is a really strange thing to say. It's really Albert is her uncle. Okay, I'm not sure who the Facebook user is. Can you give us your name so I can call you by your first name rather than Facebook user? You must be coming in off one of the groups.
It might be Debbie, mate.
Is it Debbie? Okay. Hi, Debbie. Oh, awesome. Okay. You're welcome to come in, by the way, Debbie. Just click on the link if you can see it and just come on in. Okay. It's interesting. Again.
Oh, there we go.
See, I know. Is someone coming in? Hi, Debbie. It is Debbie. Awesome. Okay. So now I know you like your nails done. And she's talking about nails, but I feel there's a problem with your nails at the moment. Does this make sense? You had a problem with your nails, or you didn't like your nails? There's something that's really strange going on with your nails at the moment. I'm also being aware. Oh, okay. I'm also being aware actually, I shouldn't really be able to do this on live, but I do feel that one broke. Oh my gosh, I can imagine that's quite bad for a woman. One broke. I know. Painful. Okay. Forgive me, Debbie. Have you got some kind of iron deficiency at the moment? You're feeling a bit tired, not off color. It's nothing major. It's just a little bit, you're working really hard. Mum's making me aware of that. Also, okay. I know you've got a son, but she's also making me aware of him as a young man, like 4 or 5 years old. She's making me aware of him and memories around that specific age. Would you understand this with mum being quite special for her? Very tight. Okay. Awesome. Can't get energy. Okay. I stick to chocolate sometimes. That works. Shouldn't, but it works. Yeah. Lots of sugar. No, don't. We'll edit that out later. Okay. Okay, I just want to bring this woman's love and energy towards you. She keeps making me aware of that. I know she was a very generous person in terms of her outlook in life. I do feel, forgive me for saying this, I do feel she, I'm just going to say it on air, I do feel she nagged you a little bit. I do feel she didn't always approve of what you was doing, but it's completely changed. It's almost like with a seal of approval. And I know I'm trying not to bring into my mind what I know about you, Debbie, but I know this comes in with lots of love, lots of approval, and okay. Would you be aware of Mum having a fall before her passing as well? She's making me aware of that, and not so much support around her. There was an issue, but having a slight fall. Okay. Okay, lots of yeses. Could please. Okay. I'd love to hear from my husband. Okay, Jill. We'll see what we can do. We'll try our best. So, Debbie, can you take your mother's love, please, because she comes through so much love, and she wants to connect with you. Okay, and just give you that upliftment you need right at this moment in time. Okay. It's always good if we can get you in, guys, on here, because we can get a stronger link and a stronger connection. But please take this lovely lady's love. Also, she's also quite strong-minded, Debbie. If this is your mum, she's very strong-minded. Oh, she's trying to tell me what to do here. So, okay, so I'll leave her love with you. Thank you, guys. Mate, how you doing?
Yeah, all right.
So have you got another one?
Yeah, you've got another one as well, haven't you?
I have, yeah. I can feel one straight away.
Oh, you go for it first.
Okay, so I'm not sure if I'm still with you though, Debbie, but I'm just going to keep going. I've got a gentleman that comes in, very strong-minded, very quick thinking, very intelligent. I also know he would have worked with his hands. I'm going to get everybody to listen up. So I'm not sure if I'm with Debbie on this, but I know he would have been a quick thinking, very intelligent man. I know he's got an accent on him as well, because I feel there's an accent with him as well. I can feel that with him. I know that he had a really strong sense of humor, very quick thinking. Okay. Oh, okay. I know he had problems with his heart, but he's also talking about a minor stroke as well. There was problems with a neurological problem. He's talking about this heart problems, but also a stroke as well. Okay, I'm not sure if anyone can take this because I'm getting mixed messages on here, guys. If you can take this, please say yes. Let me know. I know as he comes in, he feels like dad, very much so like dad. And again, there's a real strong sense of obedience with him. You'll do as you're told. I'm dad. He's here. Dad will sort everything out. I can take the gent with all the info. Okay, lovely. Very strong-minded, very intelligent. Susanna, I hope I pronounced that right. Hi, Susanna. Very intelligent gentleman. Very precise as well. And also, I know that he would have studied. I also know that he had lots of, well, I want to say his mind was like an encyclopedia. I can take the heart, but not the stroke. Okay, Carol, sorry to rule that out. Now, the only thing it could be, he was talking about someone else that had the stroke, but it felt to me he was talking about the stroke. So please keep listening and keep giving me your energy this way. That'll be lovely. Okay, Susanna's taking the intelligence, the mind, the strength, to the point I feel he's academic as well. Does this make sense, Susanna, that he was academic as well, very strong? There was also philosophy with him in terms of if you want to achieve things in this life, you've got to very much work hard for them. My husband thinks it might be someone he knows. All right, Serena, I'm just going to keep going. Hopefully I'm going to get some names. Yes, very much. Okay, he's academic. Would you understand the notes that he made as well? He had notebooks. And do you know what? I can't work out if he's a doctor or a technician, but don't tell me. I know that he was a very precise man. Okay, if you can see the link, guys, please jump in because we'd love to hear your voice on here. It really helps us with the connection. Yes, notebooks, brilliant. Okay, I'm just seeing if I can paste the. Yeah, there we go. Yes, very precise. And it was almost like a philosophy, like a strict routine in life. Really helped him. He recommended to others, and he would have taught his children that as well. Forgive me for bringing this up as a memory. He's making me aware again of this stroke, but not being. I'm not sure whether he couldn't talk, but I feel it's momentarily. Okay, I feel it's momentarily. A very strong-minded man. Sounds like my husband. Okay. I know he would have had heart problems, but there was a stroke as well. I know he's a precise man. I feel he's a technician or some kind of doctor. I'm not sure, but it's borderline. I see really dark furniture around him, and I see white floors as well. And he's taking me through. I can hear the doors closing as he takes me through the house. I also feel there was tiles on the floor in different parts of the house. Yeah, very strong-minded, independent mind. Anthony Davis. Okay, Debbie is taking it all on YouTube as well. Okay, thanks, guys.
Okay, thanks, Carol.
I'm trying to. I do feel. I'm not sure if I am getting a European accent though. I'm not sure, but I know there is a slight. I know he would have spoken English, so I do know there is English. Yes, tiles and floor. But do you understand the white cleanliness in the house? But I do very much feel that was to do with mother being very tidy and very. And again, this man gives me the real strong sense. I'm seeing black shoes as well, that he would have worn really smart shoes. I also know that there's a dress with him. I can also kind of see his stature as well. He's also wearing a suit. I've got Nick jumping on as well. I'm not sure if I'm with you, Nick, but do you understand all this information?
Yeah, I do. Yeah. The only thing that's slightly off is a stroke. But everything else is on the money.
Okay, I'm just going to keep going because I'm not sure if I'm with you or Susanna. So I have to be really true to what Spirit are giving me, and I can feel there's like a slurring with the words at the end. I'm not sure whether that's neurological, but it feels that way to me, that he's trying to impress that on me, that I can feel this. I can't hardly get my words out. Would you understand that?
Yeah. The person
Don't tell me. Just tell me yes.
Yeah.
I think I understand that, Paul, because if you tell me, that'll get in my head and that'll block me. All right.
Yeah.
So I want to keep in the flow. I also know, again, this very much is philosophy, very intelligent man. There's a real sense of putting things together, making things right. He always tried to make things right for people. There was a real strong sense of doing the right thing. Totally. But he did not speak English. Yes, at the very end, slow speech. I'm not sure if I'm with you then, Susanna, because I do feel there's an English connection with this. I'm not sure. I'm just going to keep going. Okay. Also, no, there was a vase. There was a vase in the hallway with flowers in. I believe that was mother would have put that in there. I'm not sure if that's his memory of his mother, but there's a vase in the hallway. Does this make sense?
There was a very small thing at the bottom of the stairs.
I feel it's to do with mother rather than him.
That would probably be his wife.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. He was German. Okay. Debbie's taking a lot of this as well. Okay. Oh, would you understand him having a collection as well, like a glass collection? There's something important to him about a motorbike as well. There was a really old motorbike.
No, I can't take the motorbike. No.
Okay, there's something in I'm also seeing what is like crystals, where you have ornaments with crystal ornaments. Well, they're in a glass and there's an object inside the glass. Would you understand that?
Yeah, they had a display cabinet full of these sort of things.
Perfect. This is what I'm trying to say. Yeah, standing vase with flowers at the ground floor. Motorbike, yes. Oh, my word. Okay. Would you understand the H that connects, Susanna? Would you understand, Nick, the H that connects? He's trying to give me the H that connects. Oh, hang on a minute. Herzog. Sorry, that's Susanna's. Well, I'm going to go into that. Just in case that was subliminal. All right.
Yeah.
Because I can see Susanna's surname. Okay. Would you also know he would have liked cooking as well? He would have gone in and helped to cook, but also garnishing food, putting salt on meat. He would have liked the meat as well, but got involved in the cooking. Would have loved the cooking and the smells as well. I believe his partner, or the woman in his life, would have been very good at cooking, because I can really smell that. He's given me really strong memories as well. I want to say this man so much so that was the way to his heart. Food was a way to his heart. I also cooking, yes. Taste, yes. I also know that there was a red wine, occasionally a red wine. I know he would have drank beer, but also occasionally this man knew how to dine at certain occasions. I want to say this gentleman was really well bred, forgive me for want of a better word, but he had breeding. Would you understand that? He had class. He had real class.
Yeah.
And also, he's not, he just said he's had a sense of humor. I'm not a bare knuckle fighter either. So I know he would have had a real strong sense of humor, this gentleman.
Yeah.
There's a real sense of the way he carried himself. Do you understand the grey suit that you keep showing me?
Yes.
The grey suit, I feel not sure if he was buried in the grey suit. There's a grey suit. Also, it's quite stuffy, he's saying, because it wouldn't have come out very often.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have come out very often. He's making me aware of that. A bit similar to Anthony's, but not as modern. Okay. Yes, cracking sense of humour, grey suit here too. Okay, Suzanne, I'm just gonna Okay, he's also trying to give me the initial J that connects to him. The J. I know it's somebody very dear in his life. The J.
His name began with J.
His what?
His name began with J.
Okay. Oh, no, there's another J. There's another J.
Another J.
Here. There's another J. There's another J. And I believe it's female. He's making me aware it's me. J is his first name. Okay. But the female J as well. I know he gave me a J that connects directly to him, but also the female J.
Yeah, there is a female beginning with J.
And would you also understand there's a dog in spirit that would have passed over a long time before him?
Yes.
Okay, because I feel they're connected, they're back together. He would have loved this dog as well, although wouldn't necessarily shown it to other people, but he loved this dog.
Yeah.
Okay. There's also, forgive me, I know he was quite close to his mum. I know he was close to his mum because he's making me aware of mothers in spirit with him. And that's really important. If you can't take that, that's not. Do you understand this, Nick?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Also, who keeps their jewelry on a stand? I've got a necklace on a stand he's making me aware of. There's a necklace, and I feel it's come down through like an heirloom through the family. Does this make sense? And I feel it's on like a very small bust type thing that a woman would put a necklace on. He's making me aware of that. And the initial D that connects to it as well. The initial D that connects to the necklace.
No, I can't take.
True. Do you understand the D, Susanna, that connects to the necklace as well? The initial D that belongs to that. Also, I keep smelling Horlicks, hot chocolate. Who used to drink the hot chocolate around him? Who used to drink it was you. Okay. I kind of feel like he teased you about that.
He teased me about a lot of things.
Yeah, because I'm not going to say what he just told me. Okay, I'm not going to say it, but I understand the conversation with it. I understand okay. Oh, right. And the month of May for a birthday he's given me.
Yeah.
Do you understand this, Susanna? Why do I always get to you like this? I love it. I know someone was playing some music recently and the music was interrupted. There was a pause or it went off. The May birthday, yes. There was a pause and the music went off and it came back on again. And also I know there's been some disturbance with light recently, like a flickering of light as well. Would you understand this?
Yeah.
Okay, can I tell you, I've now been hit by a wave of love from this gentleman, and he's trying to give this love over to you. Okay. Now, I don't know. He hasn't told me what the relationship between you and him is, Nick, but it is a fatherly love coming through from him. Okay. Also, there's somebody here that's not very well. He's making me aware of.
Yeah.
And he wants to send his love to them as well, make sure they're okay. I also feel he's frustrated that he can't help them as well. He's really frustrated that he can't help them. Would you understand that, please?
Yeah.
Also, I want to go to May. I'm not sure if this is the same birthday. I want to go around the 21st to the 24th of May. There's something significant within that.
Yep.
Do you understand?
Yep.
Okay. Also, the initial K that he's trying to give me that connects. The initial K. And I believe it's a child. May the 25th, I can take. Okay. This is like... It's going to be
K, I'm not sure. Probably.
The K, I believe the K is a child, like a Kai. There's a child that is making me aware of.
Oh, no, yes, that does make sense.
Okay. And I believe they've had either COVID recently or breathing problems, like an asthmatic condition. Does this make sense? Because I'm seeing a lot of like a chest infection, or I'm seeing lots of sorry to bring this up, a lot of green snot coming off this child, and I feel there's problems with the breathing at this moment in time, but they're going to be okay. Do you understand this?
More than I know at the moment.
Okay. Also, I'm just hearing the word sweetie as well. Someone got called sweetie. Who was sweetie? And I feel there's a lady that's with him. There's a lady in spirit with him.
There is, yeah.
And the sweetie as well. She would have said sweetie. I'm just literally hearing the sweetie.
Yeah.
Okay. And the Matt or Matthew, they're making me aware of the Matt or Matthew.
Not close, not Matt, but
No,
Michael.
Okay, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm hogging all the thing tonight. I'm so sorry, mate.
Sorry.
I just want to leave their love with you. And Susanna, sometimes you can get a message within a message. So Susanna, I believe this is father for both of you. Does this make sense for you, Nick? If it's not father, it's father-in-law. That's how it feels.
Grandfather.
It's grandfather. Okay. Would he have connected? Would he have had a lot to do with you in your life? Because it was a real fatherly connection with him.
Yeah,
okay.
We'd had a very close relationship.
Okay. And he's also talking about Christmas being important to him. And I also feel there was the last Christmas as well was important to him. His last Christmas. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
I also feel there was a sense of he knew he was ill. Do you understand this?
Yep.
And I feel like he kept a lot of it inside.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Okay, please take his love. And he's a very proud gentleman, I have to say. He's a very proud gentleman and very upright. And I thank you. I also know he wants to make you aware he's back to his old self. And don't you worry about that, he says.
Good.
Okay, I'll leave you with his love.
Thank you very much.
You've also been tickled or touched on the top of your head by him.
Okay.
Something going on with your hair is making me aware.
Interesting. Every time I wake up, every night recently, my hair's been up in all different directions, and it's a strange thing because it never ever does that.
That's brilliant. That's brilliant. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, Nick, thanks for coming on. We appreciate that. It's not always
easy. Thank you very much. Cheers. Thanks for that.
Thanks, Nick.
Our pleasure. Take care. Cheers, Nick. Bye. Bye. Mate, we've already overrun with that. I'm sorry, I just hogged it, didn't I? Did you want to quickly do yours? Have you still got them?
You've got you've got all the time, mate. It's all right.
Sorry, bud. Do you want to do yours quickly, or you're all right?
I'm all right. That's okay.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Did you want to pick one?
Right. Okay.
Do you know we used to do training with like 10-minute messages? I was always getting into trouble because I'd always overrun.
I thought you might.
Yeah.
KJ Hearts.
KJ Hearts. Okay. Brilliant. Okay. Mate, so it's been another fantastic spiritual talk.
Yeah, another one done and dusted.
Yeah, absolutely. We can't thank Danny enough for coming on. Next week we have Paul Humphreys. He's a medium from Lincolnshire, and he's well respected in the area and nationally as well. So we're looking forward to interviewing Paul. And mate,
And
so
that's a
this
live one, isn't it, Paul?
it is a live one this time, and more messages and more opportunities to win a free reading. If you won tonight, guys, who was that? Man, I just need to write it down or I forget. KJ, what?
Yeah, there we go again.
You've lost it, haven't you?
KJ, I'm sure it was Harris.
All right, get in touch with me, guys. You've won a free reading, so congratulations. We'll find you, don't worry. Okay, it's that time again.
Sorry, no,
right?
KJ Hart. Sorry.
Oh, KJ Hearts. All right, no worries. We'll find you. Get in contact with me. You'll find me on here. So until next week, mate. We'll see everybody then. Take care, everybody.
Take care, everyone. See you
Take
soon.
care. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.